Alright, so today we're taking a look at the Sony A7RV Hotshoe mount. This is a common problem with this series. I think it also happens a lot on the A7R4 as well as the A7 IV. So a lot of the Sony Alpha bodies are going to be using this Hotshoe. And if you have a flash or something mounted to that Hotshoe and you're noticing it wiggling like this, I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. So first I'm going to go ahead and take off my flash. I have a little bit of this Gorilla Tape on here. That just helps me keep the flash on there with those Godox flashes, so don't worry about that. I'll go ahead and peel it off so that you guys can see what's going on here. But the first thing that you're going to do, you need two tools, a really tiny flathead and a really tiny Phillips head screwdriver. First thing you're going to do is you're going to pry up this plate. So this is where you're going to use that little flathead, and I kind of just go in right there by the circle and just lift that up, and it'll pop up in the back. And then there's little hooks right here, two little hooks. You're going to want to push this plate forward for that to release. And then from there, it's pretty much just pulling it out like that. Then underneath there, you have two really tiny Phillips head screws, right, 1 and 2. You're just going to loosen those up all the way. You actually have to get underneath this to complete this. So make sure you're not losing them. They are pretty small. There we go. And then again, taking that flathead screwdriver there, and this time I like to come from the back, just get right underneath that lip and pop that up and pull it out. It's pretty simple, especially if you've done it a few times. Now you have 4 Phillips head screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the ones that tend to get loose. Now, I don't have any Loctite with me at the moment. I would recommend Loctiting these. Just a little dab of Loctite would probably go a long way. But what you're going to do is just tighten up those screws. Don't over torque them. They are really fine screws, so you don't want to strip the heads on those. But all of them were a little loose, especially if you're like me and you hang this from your hip a lot. I mean, I use the spider holster, so these cameras during weddings are hanging from my hips, and the flash tends to swing on, and these get loose, over time. So putting everything back together, very simple. Just do everything in the reverse. First, you're gonna get this guy here, the main plate, and that has a little tab there, so he kind of slides in over that silver circle in the middle. When you slide this in, you wanna lift the back up, the part that's closest to the camera up, so that tab will fall in there just right. So everything should look flush before you're putting those little screws in. And then just be really careful again with these screws are really tiny. I've had to do this at a wedding before. And when you're trying to go really fast, it's easy to get careless and lose one of these. So you don't want to do that. Take it slow. Slow is calm, calm is fast. There we go. And then last but not least, we have that little that spring, retaining spring there, and that just slides back in. And make sure that those little hooks line up right, and then this back piece will have to slide down to get underneath everything else there. Now we're gonna go ahead and just reattach, tighten her up, no more wiggling.